Good day and welcome to the presentation of the second tranche of the S3 business bond issue. I'm Simona from Nasdaq Vilnius and I'll have the pleasure of moderating today's session. Over the next half an hour or so, we'll provide you with the comprehensive details into S3 business bond offering that is currently being offered. Before we begin, let me cover a few quick notes. We encourage you to submit questions throughout the presentation using the Q&A function located at the bottom of your screen. We'll address these during our dedicated Q&A session following the management presentation. Please note that today's session is being recorded. I'm delighted to introduce today's presenters, Andrius Mikalauskas, Chief Executive Officer of S3's Business, Kasparas Juška, Head of Investments at S3 Business, and Gediminas Norkūnas, Head of Securities Origination at Luminor Lithuania, who join us today. And without further delay, I'll hand the floor over to our speakers. Please. The floor is yours.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As Simona already presented us, so my name is Gediminas Norkūnas. I represent Luminor Bank. Today we have a presentation on project Hermanas. The project is developed by SBA Group company, and Luminor just started the offering of the second tranche of the bonds for this project. So today you'll have a chance to know more about the project and ask your questions. We'll have Q&A session at the end of presentation, but please type your questions in the chat as soon as they arise. We'll pick them up at the end of the presentation. And without a further delay, I invite the CEO, Andrius Mikalauskas, and the Head of Finance, Kasparas Juška, to tell you more about the project and to give an update on its latest developments. So, gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone who joined. First of all, we'll start with the introduction of our results. So, Andrius, if you could move the slide. So, my name is Kasparas Juška. I'm Head of Investment at SBA Urban. I've been part of SBA Urban since 2022. My whole career is focused on real estate financing. Previously, I was part of Žabolis Partners, where I was also involved in raising capital for various real estate projects, including equity financing, bond financing. So right now, my responsibilities include arranging financing for the Hermanas project, for a broader Nemunaičiai district that we will talk about also today, and also other fields that SBA Urban invests in. For instance, Urban Hub projects.
Hi, my name is Andrius. So I started my career in Ernst & Young in transaction advisory, focusing on due diligences, valuations, and M&A transactions in the Baltics. After that, I moved on to Vilnius Prekyba Group, where I started off as CFO in Barbora, then led the company, its expansion to Baltics and Poland. And then later on moved on to Vilnius Prekyba, the main holding company, where I held chairman's position and CEO's position, and then spent some time also back in Maxima Group. And then I moved on to SBA Urban, where we develop various kinds of real estate projects. And currently I focus on our mixed-use development in Kaunas, Hermanas business center is part of which.
So in this presentation, we'll go through the following key sections. First of all, we will talk about the overall picture and summarize the whole bond issuance that we are talking about. Then we will move and very much focus on the project status update, mostly since the first tranche of the bonds that were issued in May of this year, because the development progress of the project has been quite significant since then. Then we will let's say zoom out a bit and focus on the key investment highlights and investment rationale for these bonds. Then we will in detail go through the bond terms and conditions, and finally we have an appendix with the main financial statements of the issuer. We will let's say briefly overview the stuff that is happening in the financial statements. So first of all, a brief overview. We are raising bonds for Hermanas. Hermanas is an A-class business center offering 10,600 square meters of leasable space in Nemunaičiai in central Kaunas. Nemunaičiai is an area in central Kaunas on the left side of Nemunas River, which spans for 6 hectares, and in which SBA Urban is planning to invest approximately 250 million euros in the coming approximately 8 years. The first phase of the project of the district has been already completed 2 years back, and Hermanas is part of the second phase of this district, of which also an additional residential project is also being constructed. So Hermanas is just a part of an overall Nemunaičiai district, one of the most promising mixed-use districts currently under development in Lithuania. Hermanas project is currently under construction. It has been since August of last year, and the construction is planned to be finished in December this year, with the first tenants moving into the premises already in the first quarter of the next year. So just to go through the key facts, address is Nemunaičiai Street 1 in Kaunas, Lithuania. It's in Nemunaičiai district. It's located on the land plot that it's freely held, not leased, freely held. Gross leasable area is 10,600 square meters. In addition to the Hermanas business center, just nearby, we are constructing, as part of the same project, multi-story car parking, which will have over 500 parking spaces. As it is a completely new development, Hermanas will strive for quite high sustainability standards. The main of them are A++ energy efficiency class based on the local regulations. And secondly, we will strive for BREEAM in Use Excellence certification and also Fitwel certification. BREEAM in Use mostly talks about let's say, energy efficiency solutions of the project, while Fitwel focuses on the well-being of the tenants of the building.
Excuse me, can you hear Kasparas? For me, the sound is...
Total developer is SBA Urban. General contractor of the project is companies of Lithuania, Veikmė Statyba. Architects are Paleko Architektų Studija, also well-known and renowned architect. And arranger and dealer of the bonds is Luminar. Let's talk about the overview of the bond issuance. So if we look at the left side of the slide, we are raising up to 23.5 million euros in bond financing. In May of this year, we have already issued 7 million euros. Interest and coupon rate applied to this bond issuance is 8% fixed per annum. The interest is paid semi-annually, so basically every 29th of May and every 29th of November. The maturity of the bonds is 29th of November 2027, which implies that from the second tranche of the bonds, the maturity is slightly over 2 years, so 2 years and 1 month. Denomination, so nominal value of one bond is 1,000 euros, and the bond is secured by the first rank mortgage of land plot and building of Hermanas project, and also there is a pledge over the shares of the issuer. Talking about the second tranche of the bonds, the ones that we are raising right now, we are raising up to 5 million euros, and with a possibility to increase in case we have a demand larger than 5 million. The issue yield applied to this second tranche is 7.5% per annum. Issue price is slightly over 1,000 euros, including interest. The value is approximately 1,043 euros per one bond. Offering period is from 13th of October until 24th of October. So we have started this Monday, and we will end on Friday of next week. And the issue date of the bonds is 29th of October. If you look at the right side of the slides, we want to present the company structure and the shareholder structure of the issuer. So the first shareholder holding indirectly 50% of the shares of the issuer is SBA Group. So it's one of the largest business groups in Lithuania, active since 1990s. It is active in, first of all, furniture production, then real estate, and then apparel production fields. In 2024, the consolidated revenue for the group was over 400 million euros. Sorry, yeah, 400 million euros. SB Urban acts as an real estate investment arm of SB Group. So SB Urban is active since 2007. And since then, it was engaged in the development of various segments of real estate, offices, residential, logistics, also factory building for SB Group. And so overall, since then, SB Urban has developed over 280,000 square meters of building space. The second shareholder holding 50% of the remaining shares is investment company and investment holding company of Tautvydas family. So a very prominent Lithuanian businessman and investor. He used to own KG Group. He exited the business in 2021, and then since then, Taba Invest as an investment holding company was established, which is mostly active in various real estate investments in Lithuania. Taba Invest also holds the same percentage, 50% in the remaining Nemunaičiai district. So basically, Nemunaičiai district, including Hermanas project, is developed by SB Urban and Taba Invest, each holding 50% of the shares.
All right, so I'll continue with a project update of what is currently going on in Hermanas construction site. So since previous time that we joined in our first tranche, the majority of works have been already completed. So structural works are fully completed. Currently, around 85% of windows have been already installed. Only remaining part which was needed for the delivery of building materials was not installed, but is being installed at the moment. Facades are 50% completed. We are actually covering them back in order to keep them fresh and clean. And other works are on schedule. So all the infrastructural, roofing, engineering systems are being done. What else was started? We already started with the tenants. So we currently have 2 tenants with which contracts have already been signed, rental contracts, and we are starting off with fit out. So on the first floor and also on the ground floor, we have tenants with whom we are already getting the premises ready for their moving in the first quarter of 2026. What else is to add is that our current loan to cost percentage, if we would look at quarter 3 2025, is at 34%, which is a very healthy measure to say at this point. And our completion date, so majority of construction works will actually finish in November, and our commission of the building is planned and scheduled for December of this year. So it's really a sort of finish moment in our site, a very busy moment. So Veikmės Statyba, our general contractor, is showing great progress. So you can see that in January we had basically 3 levels completed. Bottom left corner in May we have almost all levels built, and then on the right side you see the current status in October. So actually a couple of weeks ago this picture was taken. So we have the facades of the main office building, which is on the right, and you can see engineering systems on the rooftop. And on the top left corner of this bigger photo, you see the parking building, which has already also the top level done, being insulated. You can see the terrace, which is connected with the residential project and the internal streets, which will have very nice landscaping done on it with some playgrounds for kids as well. So construction site is on progress, and then you can also see behind the buildings, Minkovsky Street, which is being renovated by the municipality of Kaunas. And the project will transform the street from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. So basically 2 lanes each way, with bicycle paths, new bus stops, with new pavements for pedestrians as well. And also the internal street is being built by Vikmė Statyba, so surrounding the parking building. Actually, tiles have already been all laid, so now plans are moving in. About the surrounding infrastructure, we have significant progress in construction of pedestrian and cyclist bridge. So this bridge, for those who haven't joined in the past, this bridge is connecting our district with Nemunas Island in Kaunas city center. On Nemunas Island, you can find Žalgiris basketball and concert arena. You can find the Olympic swimming pool with a big spa complex, as well as the Science Museum, which was just opened last year. So this pedestrian bridge is connecting the 2 sides in 2026 June. So actually it has been, the finish date has been moved closer, and actually works are now being done 24/7, which is quite a significant commitment by a municipality to have very strong progress and finish by summer. This crucial connection to our project. About leasing, so we have signed 2 contracts amounting to approximately 1,000 square meters, as well as we have letters of intent for a little bit more than 400 square meters, so amounting in total LOIs plus signed contracts to 1,400 square meters, which is around 14-15% of the leasable area. So with first tenants, we're very happy to have Cybercare, which is part of a big startup group. So Cybercare is actually moving in the first quarter, so their interior works are being prepared. And we'll have a lunch day lunch restaurant on the ground floor, who will be also moving in around February, March next year. So with LOIs, we are also quite positive and expect them to convert very soon, which will complete the majority of the ground floor premises. We don't have much information about other tenants with whom we are negotiating, as it is too early and the information is still confidential to reveal about other tenants. One more thing to add about the surrounding developments. So on the other side of the street, we have industrial land plot, and this land plot has been acquired by one investor, Tesonet Group, who is going to develop it into a cyber city project. So meaning that this location is really transforming into a new Kaunas city center. Okay, going back to you, Kasparai.
Thank you, Andrius. We will now go through the main investment highlights and investment rationale of these bonds. So first of all, the project itself, as already mentioned, is located in highly prospective and very promising location. It is Nemunaičiai is one of the most promising new mixed-use district in the Baltics. We, as the developer, SB Urban, we are here for the upcoming, we hope, at least 8 years. We're planning to develop over 600 apartments in this district and over 30,000 square meters of office space, of which 10,000, slightly more, is for the Hermanas project. So it's one-of-a-kind district currently under development in the thing. Secondly, Hermanas will be the leading business center in Kaunas. The newest modern business centers in Kaunas have been completed in 2021 only. So it has been almost 4 years until any new modern supply has been added to the market. Hermanas, in that sense, Hermanas will be the most modern business center in Kaunas. with a big focus on functionality and sustainability. We're targeting A++ energy class and also BREEAM as well as FitFel certifications. The third point, as mentioned, the last business center was added to the Kaunas market in 2021. Therefore, the vacancy in the market has been below 5% since the second half of 2022, which means that Hermanas is right now the first business center after quite a long time to capture any additional demand that is foreseen in the Kaunas market. So the vacancy levels in Kaunas office market is very healthy, and Hermanas currently has very limited competition in this market, which makes the competitive position of Hermanas quite favorable. The fourth point is that the business center is developed by a developer with a very big office market expertise. So SB Urban developed Green Hall A-class business complex in Vilnius, which has over 20,000 of square meters of leasable space. And also right now, SB Urban has developed and still manages BLC business center in Kaunas, which also has almost 20,000 square meters of leasable space. And also SB Urban, as a property manager, manages another business center in Kaunas, which is called Kauno Dokas, which is owned by the sister company Kapitalika, which is additional almost 20,000 square meters of office space. So SB Urban is a real insider in the office industry. It has a very big track record in this particular field, which gives confidence that the project will be completed successfully. The fifth point is that the bonds that we are talking about have quite a balanced issue structure. The bonds are secured by the first ranking mortgage of the real estate and the issuer shares. And also we have quite a comprehensive set of covenants, such as negative payouts to shareholders, reporting obligations, subordination of shareholder loans, and so on. So we will go through them slightly later. And also bonds are listed in the Baltic First North bond list. To dwell slightly deeper into the main, let's say, investment highlights of the project, as mentioned, Hermanas is phase 2 of Nemunaičiai district. We hope that by 2031, the district will comprise over 600 apartments and over 30,000 square meters of office space. SB Urban, together with ABA Invest, will invest over 250 million euros in the district. As already mentioned, phase 1 has been completed 2 years back in 2023. It had 165 apartments, which have been quite quickly completely sold out. So right now we have basically over 200 of newcomers living in the district. And phase 2, of which Hermanas is part of, is also comprised of the Pasaka residential project, which has 90 apartments. Also, the sales in this project are going quite well. We have already sold over 50 apartments in this project, while the construction ending is still the first quarter of the next year. So overall, the district itself in Kaunas receives quite much attention, and people are moving in basically to this newly developed district. Secondly, we have quite a significant, as Andrius was talking, infrastructure developments nearby. So we have 3 of them. First of all, as shown already, there is a new pedestrian bridge being built to the Nemunas Island, which will basically connect the Nemunaičiai district in 5 minutes walking district with the Nemunas Island and all the amenities that are there. So Žalgiris Arena, Olympic swimming pool, which also includes, spa and leisure center. Then it will be 10-minute walking distance to the old town of Kaunas, to the new town of Kaunas. So basically, the whole central Kaunas will be super reachable with your foot when this bridge is completed. Secondly, there is a Minkovsky Street reconstruction going on, which is the main transit street going through the district. And third of all, there is a Čiurlionis concert hall being planned on the same side of the river as the Nemunaičiai district. The timeline here is a bit further away, but at some point, Nemunaičiai will have this nice addition to the overall picture. So if we look at the whole district visually, on the bottom left side, you see Hermanas project together with the multi-story car parking marked in white. Pasaka, which is also developed just near the Hermanas project, is on the right side, marked also in number 2. Then marked in 1, there is the first phase of the district already completed. And marked in 3, there is also a business center nearby that is being planned nearby. The building permit for it has been already received, but we're waiting for, let's say, a market opportunity to also start further development of the office after Hermanas. So it will start only after Hermanas is completed. And then on the right side, marked in 4, there's a further 3 hectares of area that's currently being planned. We have an architectural competition completed for that part of the district, and we hope to move on with the residential part of that district already possibly at the end of next year. On the right side, you see the view as of October this year, so with quite a considerable construction progress. This is the view from the other side of the district. I want to focus on the infrastructure and also on what surrounds our land plot. So on the right side, on the bottom right side, you see this pedestrian bridge that's being constructed and will be completed in 2026. Then on the upper right corner, you see the Minkovsky Street reconstruction going on. It is also scheduled for 2026. This will be the main artery of the overall Nemunaičiai district. Then on the other side of the Minkovsky Street, on the upper right corner, you see the planned mixed-use development by third party, specifically Tesonet Group, which acquired that land plot last year, and they are also planning to develop a mixed-use district here. On the upper left side, there are further areas that are currently owned by the KG Group. They have currently their business operations going on there, but they're planning to move it in, let's say, upcoming 10 years or so. So if we look at the time horizon after that point, sometime in 2030s, further development of the district will again continue with the mixed-use buildings shown on the upper left side here. If we again talk about the business center itself, so as already mentioned, it has 10,600 square meters of leasable space. The floor plates are up to 1,500 square meters. This allows for both large tenants to be fitted into one floor, or that floor be split into several smaller units. So basically, it gives us flexibility to welcome various tenants in this particular business center. And there is a real lack of such large floor plates in the market vacant right now. In the nearby multi-story car parking, over 500 of parking spaces will be developed. Both of the buildings are of 8 floors. We are striving A++ energy class for the office building. And also for the project, we strive to receive BREEAM in-use excellence certificate as well as Fitwel certificate. Here are some visualizations of the Hermanas Business Center. So on the upper left corner, you see the common areas, how the first floor will look. We are putting very much emphasis into that the tenants feel and visitors feel good being in this business center. That's why we are also having a few terraces in the building, both for the private and for the public use of the tenants. Then on the bottom left corner, you see the multi-story car parking, on which we are also planning some green areas where people can enjoy their time. And also, as this is Hermanas is part of an overall district development, we are putting very much emphasis on the let's say small streets and the paths and alleyways of the whole district, that people feel nice walking in the district. About the construction schedule, So everything is going completely in line with what we were planning initially. Right now, we have already completed the monolithic frames of both buildings, both the Hermanas business center and the multi-story car parking. Right now, 4 processes are at the end of their progress, namely facade installation, internal engineering networks, landscaping and external networks, and also fit out of the common areas. What we are planning to start is already this month. We are planning to move on with the fit out for the tenants. As we have signed these first 2 lease agreements with Cybercare and iLunch, we are starting the fit out works for them as soon as possible, so that the tenants can move and start the operations in the business center already in the first quarter of next year. So the construction completion is planned for the December of this year, and right away the building commissioning process will start, which usually takes additional, let's say, 1 month. So either in December or in January, we will already have the building fully commissioned and ready to welcome the first tenants. About the overall market of Kaunas, if we look at the left bottom side, in black, you see the additional stock that has been added to the Kaunas office supply each year. So the last major addition to the stock was back in 2020. And then after that point, there were very minor additions to the overall supply of modern office space in Kaunas. And as you see, only in 2025, there is a more significant addition to the supply, which is the Hermanas project. So because there has been very few additions to the supply of the modern office space in Kaunas market in the last 4 years, on the upper right side, you see the graph which shows the vacancy of the Kaunas office market. And as you see, starting from the second half of 2022, the vacancy has remained below 5%. So basically, these factors and this market situation provides quite a good market timing for Hermanas project. Kaunas office market, perhaps contrary to, let's say, Vilnius office market, remains undersupplied with office space. No major other starts for the office developments are planned for this year. And Hermanas is here to basically capture this additional demand, possible demand from in the Kaunas office market. A few facts about the developer and the track record that we have. So as mentioned, SV Urban is one of the leading real estate developers in the Baltics. We have completed over 280,000 square meters of buildings of various purposes since 2027. So the track record of SV Urban started with Green Hall back in 2007. Then among the other office developments, we have BLC office in Kaunas. Then since 2021, we are very actively developing urban hub stock office complexes in Kaunas and Vilnius. Then, of course, we have this whole Nemunaičiai district, of which Hermanas is part of. And then we have some seaside developments, of which Kopų slėnis boutique seaside apartment project was completed last year. So if we look at the internal team of SB Urban, our team is comprised of over 30 professionals engaged in all of the fields that are related to the real estate development, namely finance, design, architecture, construction management, and other fields. So we have an in-house competence to deliver the project of such caliber as Hermanas is. A few key facts about the 2 office complexes that are in the SB Urban's portfolio. So the first one is very well known Green Hall A-class office complex in Vilnius. The GLA is over 20,000 square meters. It is right now fully occupied. It has been so for the last, let's say, 5 years since the last phase of it was completed. It was completed in 3 phases. The first one was in 2009. That's the highest building of the 3. The second one is in 2017, and the third one in 2020. Among certifications, we have also BREEAM in Use Excellent, the same certificate that we want to apply to the Hermanas project. Among other developments, the one in Kaunas, so BLC Office Center, located in the very heart of Kaunas in Nemunaičiai Street. The GLA is slightly more than 19,000 square meters. It's also a phase-by-phase development. The first one was completed in 2007, and the second one was the one that is shown in the picture on the left. It was completed in 2019. The business center has a Fitwel certification, so also the same one that we are striving for for the Hermanas project. And also a nice thing that as part of the project, Unity Square of Kaunas was developed, which is shown on the upper right corner. Right now, below this square is parking, and this whole square was developed and handed over to the city. And right now, various events are being held by Kaunas in this particular square. So it's a nice addition to the city. About the key individuals that are involved in the overall development, management of the Hermanas Business Center. Of course, it's Andrus, already presented. Then we have Ernesta Railė, who has been working in the design of the real estate projects for the last 20 years. She was a part of HANER and was involved in the very, let's say, high level and very well-known business center developments, such as Business Stadium Central in Vilnius and also Business Stadium Northeast, both developments in Vilnius. Then we have Lionginas Šepetys. He is chairman of the board at SV Urban. He has a very big experience in the general management in various industries. He used to work in HANER. He used to be a CEO and board member some time ago. Then he was in Bita Group. Then he was in Pergalė, part of the VP Group. And some time ago, he also was a CEO and board member of Sparta. Then it's me, already presented, Kasparas. I am in real estate financing in my whole career. Previously, I was part of Žabolis Partners, where I was also raising capital for various real estate projects of that group. Going back to the project itself, we are striving for quite a structured funding approach for the project, and we also aim for quite a comprehensive set of covenants for these bonds. So on the left side, you see the project's budget and capital structure. The investments to the project planned investments amount to up to 35 million euros. As of the end of the third quarter of this year, approximately 18 million euros have already been invested. If we look at the financing sources, the project is financed as follows. 11.5 million are planned to be invested as equity, and also 23.5 million euros are planned to be invested as the bonds that are being raised here. On the upper right corner, you see the financial status by quarter. So investments are in very active phase. At the end of the second quarter, the investments amounted to 14 million euros, while at the end of September, investments amount now to slightly more than 18 million euros. At this point, we have issued, as mentioned, only the first tranche of these bonds, so 7 million euros. If we calculate the net issue size, which is calculated to get the LTC ratio, so we get that net issue size is 6.2 million euros, which implies that the loan-to-cost ratio at the end of the last quarter was 34%. As a reminder, based on the covenants of these bonds, loan-to-cost ratio shall not exceed 75%, so everything is okay here. Main bond covenants, so the first and the most important one is the first ranking mortgage over the project's real estate, namely the land plot and also the building. And also we have the pledge of shares of the issuer. Other covenants are quite comprehensive. There is negative borrowing, meaning that the issuer can only borrow based on these bonds, and there cannot be any additional external debt for the project. Then we have negative payouts to the shareholders, meaning that the shareholder loans are subordinated and also dividends are not allowed. meaning that the bondholders have the, let's say, are the first in line when it comes to any cash flow generated by the project. Then we have the disposal of property covenant, meaning that the building can only be sold to redeem the bonds. Then we have, as already mentioned, loan-to-cost ratio. Loan-to-cost shall not exceed 75% during the existence of these bonds. And then we have reporting obligations. So through NASDAQ listing, we are reporting semi-annual LTC ratio, also semi-annual unaudited financial statements of the issuer, and also annually we are providing audited financial statements of the company.
Let me take over from here for a couple of slides. So Kasparas already mentioned the main terms, but let me remind that, Andres, if you could switch the next slide, please. So the issuer is S3 Business Limited Liability Company, a part of SBA Group. The total program approved, prepared, and approved for the issue is up to 23.5 million euros. That's the maximum amount that could be raised under the program. The initial tranche, what Kasparas already mentioned, was issued back in May. It carried 8% annual coupon, paid semi-annually. So this remains the same. This second tranche is issued at a yield of 7.5%, which translates into a price of a bit more than 1,042 euros, and that's including accrued interest. The redemption date is 29th of November 2027. So again, as Kasparas mentioned, 2 years and 1 month. There is an early redemption option that the issuer has. So if the project goes smoother and quicker, there is a possibility to repay the bond earlier, but then the redemption premium would be paid to the issuers. So it's 1% premium if the repayment happens before 29th of May of 2026, and 0.5% premium if the repayment happens between the 30th of May of 26 and the 29th of May of 27. The mentioned collateral, first ranking pledge of land, plot, building, and shares. Covenants already covered quite extensively by Kasparas. The offering is public, open for Lithuanian, Latvian, and Estonian retail investors, as well as institutional investors, of course. The first tranche of the bond is already listed. So technically speaking, you are buying an already listed financial instrument. And the aim of the second tranche is to raise up to 5 million euros in nominal terms. Of course, subject to demand, the tranche size might be somewhat increased. Again, decision by the issuer. And the offering period will last up until 24th of October inclusive. But technically, the offering period will be somewhat shorter than the last working hours of that day. So be mindful, speak with your financial account provider, service provider, and make sure that your order would be processed in timely manner. Luminor acts as arranger and dealer of the program. So if you do have any questions, please direct them to financial advisors at Luminor. Equally well, you can approach your financial advisor in any of the banks or financial institutions operating in the Baltics, and they will be able to place your order at NASDAQ because the orders are collected via NASDAQ platform. The recording of this webinar will be available on NASDAQ YouTube channel. In any case, if you would have any questions, please reach out to Luminor. So I hand over to Kasparas. Thanks.
How to subscribe for the bonds? So first of all, a securities account is required. It can be opened in basically any financial institution in the Baltic region that offers investment services. Once you have the securities account, you contact the manager of your securities account, and you can in this way subscribe for the bonds. a very big notice is that the subscription orders can be submitted from the 13th of October until the 24th of October, and the issue date is the 29th of October. Finally, we have added the latest available financial statements that have already been reported on the NASDAQ issuer. So if we go, the issuer is currently in a very active investment phase. As shown at the end of 2024, the total assets amounted to slightly over 9 million euros, while in mid 2025, total assets amounted to 18.4 million euros. So currently, the issuer is in the active investment phase. It will be so for the upcoming, let's say, until the next year, because we are basically completing the construction in December, but further on, the fit-out investments to the tenants based on the need will be incurred. So we expect total assets to grow until the end of the next year. Then if you look at the income statement of the issuer, as the project is currently in the investment phase, it has not yet generated any revenue. We expect that the first revenue will be generated in the first quarter of the 2026, when the first tenants, first of them are Cybercare and iLunch, will take over the premises and will start paying the rent. So the first revenue will come in next year. And if you look at the cash flow statement, it's also basically shows that you look at the net cash flow from investment activities, that a very active investment phase is currently ongoing. This year already we have made almost 7 million euros of investment to the project, and the issuer was mostly financed by the bonds. We raised 7 million euros, and also this year there were some additional equity investments by the shareholders to the project. Finally, you have the contact details of both the issuer and Luminor, who is the arranger of the bonds. I am happy to answer any questions right now during the Q&A, but also feel free to follow up in the email after this webinar. I can also try to answer any outstanding questions.
Thank you, Kaspars. Thank you, Andrius, for the presentation. We do have a few questions, so I'll try to read them, and hopefully you'll be able to answer them right away. So what's your progress with the search of new tenants? When do you plan to have full occupancy? And what were the triggers that actually precluded you from signing pre-lease agreements?
Andrius, will you take care of this?
Yeah, sure. So probably I cannot go into specifics of which tenants we're currently in discussions with, but we have active negotiations for approximately half of the leasable area of our building. Advanced negotiations, I mean test fits being done and specifics of pricing, fit-out contributions, etc., being discussed and negotiated. And regarding what was stopping us to sign LOIs until now, so basically what we saw is that our previous experience with Kauno Dokas and BLC business centers repeated, meaning when you have the structure of the whole building completed, when you have the facades finally being done, that's when the major activity and the trust from the tenants come. They trust SBA, they know the location, but they want to feel the building, they want to visit it, and then when the major activity starts.
Thank you. You have mentioned the development of pedestrian bridge and the timeline. What is the timeline for the reconstruction of the Minkovsky Street?
Timeline is 2026 to be completed with two levels, with the final layers of the asphalt. Already from the sides, from the two ends of the street, first layers of asphalt have been already laid. It hasn't yet reached our project. And currently, what is being done is electricity and water networks are being moved in order for the first layers of asphalt to come on.
Thank you. What are your refinancing expectations? Would there be opportunity to refinance the bond with banks once the construction is completed, or banks require higher occupancy in order to refinance it? What kind of occupancy level banks usually require?
Thank you for the question. Banks typically, based on the how Hermanas project is financed, which is not more than 75% of the costs will be financed by bonds. So banks will require slightly over 70% of occupancy for Hermanas. We expect such occupancy to be achieved in 2027. And this is the primary way how we expect to refinance these bonds. So that's the answer.
Thank you. I don't see any further questions, but there is still some time, so I encourage participants to be active and to ask what bothers you. Of course, as mentioned, you can always reach out to Luminor Financial Advisors or to the company, which kindly provided their contact. Yep. If no further questions, which I don't see new ones. So thank you very much for the company representatives. Really appreciated your time and presentation. Thank you, the audience, for staying with us for this hour. And hopefully you'll make an informed decision on the investment in this project. Thank you, and have a good day, everyone.
Thank you very much for joining, and have a good day.
On
Thank
behalf
you.
of Nasdaq Vilnius, also, I would like to thank you all for joining us today, and special thanks to Andrius, Kasparas, and Gediminas for your excellent presentation and thoughtful responses to the questions. Have a great day.
Thank you, Simona. Thank you, everyone.